Why'd you move to the U.S. and not Europe? Because I like freedom, baby. Fuck you mean? I like freedom, and I like mass shootings that happen every day. Speaking of which, let's take a look. Here it is. 3 dead, injured, 6 injured in New Mexico mass shooting. Let's get started. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. It's time to talk about the news.
With the mass shooting in New Mexico that left at least 3 people dead and several others wounded.
Police took down the 18-year-old shooter. This was the 225th mass shooting in America this year alone. Mola Lengi is on the scene in Farmington, New Mexico. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, George. Yeah, police.
It's so weird to cover mass shootings with a segue. But, like, in America, again, 250 plus, so what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? The fuck are you supposed to do?
Still investigating what motivated that 18-year-old to roam up and down these otherwise quiet residential streets, allegedly firing at random. But authorities say the shooting appears to be just that, random.
This morning, police investigating the deadly mass shooting in Farmington, New Mexico that left at least 3 people dead and 6 others injured, including 2 police officers.
I have eyes on the suspect. He's walking south. He's wearing all black.
The suspect, an 18-year-old male, seen in this video, lurking around the crime scene with a firearm in hand. Officers say he fired at least 3 different weapons, including an AR-style rifle.
There's a person laying in the middle of the street. He's just walking in circles with the Glock with an extended clip.
Authorities arriving to a chaotic scene spanning roughly a quarter of a mile after responding to multiple active shooting calls around 11 a.m.
I got several people down. I've got 3 vehicles that are...
That's a Mennonite town where a girl got murdered a few years ago by an Air Force airman. Bizarre for how small it is. Yeah.
I got 3 people that are dead.
At least 6 homes and 3 vehicles were reportedly hit by gunfire.
Finding a bullet hole through your daughter's window was just like, my gosh.
So this is the room, went through right there.
It was traumatic to be barricaded in your laundry room with your daughter, who's one.
Per capita murder rate in small towns now dwarfs large cities, as far as I know. Yeah, it's not surprising. America is fucked up. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, there's nothing going on in small towns, so they just, like, gotta fucking make do with whatever the fuck.
Officers eventually confronting and killing the suspect. They're now looking for a possible motive.
At this point, it appears to be purely random. No schools, no churches, no individuals targeted.
Overnight, the community mourning the loss of the victims, just as 225 communities have dealt with mass shootings across the country this year.
Well, the 2 police officers shot are recovering. One was treated and released from the hospital yesterday. The other remains at the hospital and is reportedly doing well. Michael?
All right, Mola, we are doing these stories all too often.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you say? Like, you can't do anything.
Detail.
Dude, I feel like, I don't know. I thought microplastics was supposed to make us more soy and, like, less violent, whereas, like, the lead generation was more aggressive and more violent. And then I see stuff like this, and I'm like, maybe we are still incredibly fucking violent. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Can cops please just stop killing the suspect and I just don't know, shoot their knees or shoot the gun so it disarms them? What do you think, this is a fucking video game? No, man. That's your point? No, this is like incredibly valid to kill the suspect here, okay? The fuck do you mean? The dude is like an active shooter. No, I will never listen to me, okay? This is the one time where police violence is warranted, okay? They don't have a fucking built-in VATS. This is not Fallout. There's no, like, shooting the kneecaps. The fuck are you talking about? You aim for center mass and you fucking unload. You mag dump. That's fine. It's the one instance where it's fucking fine. No, literally. This is the one fucking part of policing where I'm like, 1, it's valid. This is why we need, like, a protective force, okay? And 2, totally valid and justified to use violence in this circumstance. If you are in the process of killing someone with a gun and you get shot, you're not going to see me go, oh, man, what the fuck? Now, obviously, that changes. We're talking about knives, right? Like, if someone is, like, walking around with a knife or whatever the fuck, and police have an opportunity to apprehend that suspect, then, yes, they should use the less violent means to apprehend that suspect. not immediately fucking mag dump on them. If someone is unarmed, should the cops mag dump on them? Absolutely not. But if someone literally has multiple guns and they're running around and shooting and have demonstrated that they are capable of killing people and they're, trying to kill more people, yes, in that circumstance, it is a valid instance where police violence is warranted, necessary, if you will. Okay? That is kind of the reason why police are supposed to have guns. Not because they want to pull it out at every fucking traffic stop whenever they see a black person driving a fucking Kia Forte or whatever, but because, this is it. This is the one time where you're supposed to have the guns and you're supposed to shoot the guns, okay? Anyway. Oh. But of course, there is not VATS IRL. Moving targets are hard to shoot. Yeah. You can't trust these cops and what they say about motive anymore. Those cowards in Allen, Texas still refuse to acknowledge anything about the shooter's Nazi shit. Maybe an army of 100 social workers could reverse psychology the weapon away from him. Yeah, I mean, first of all, no one thinks that, right? Like, I don't even think the crustiest of anarchists think that is the appropriate thing to do there. If it's a violent and weaponized threat, then yes, that's certainly valid to use force in that regard. The problem is cops don't do that in most circumstances because they are genuinely incredibly fearful for their lives. So they don't even do that in a lot of instances where there is violence that is necessary, right? In order to defend their own lives and also other people. You literally just had a chatter who thinks that? Not really. I don't think so. I don't think anyone is serious when they say stuff like that. But ultimately, why do kids have access to guns in the first place? I only can shot an air gun when I was a kid. Dude, who doesn't have access to guns at this point, dude? We're in America. You can accidentally have access to a gun, even if you didn't intend to at this point. Police aren't obligated to risk their lives to save someone. I know. So, anyway, so yeah, good police work in that regard. But again, it doesn't matter. Police are the good guys with the guns in this circumstance, right? But it doesn't matter because the killer still fucking shot multiple people because they are reacting to violence. So there is echo in your mic audio. No, there isn't. Shut the fuck up. There has to be something else. There has to be something that we have to do to actually stop or at least greatly make it as difficult as possible to have these instances of gun violence in this country. And that comes from gun control. It comes from the legislative body. There's nothing you can do outside of that. Places like California are, very good examples of how to do that. Okay? People always talk oh man, California, so much violence. It's no, motherfucker. If you look at the overall gun violence rate of California, it is lower than the fucking national average. It's lower than the national average. Contrast that with any fucking red state and you realize, oh no, actually more guns means more gun violence. Okay? Same with New York. New York State has a lower rate of violent crimes and gun violence than fucking South Carolina. But nobody ever thinks that way because they don't think about it like that because the media is constantly portraying it as the opposite. It's oh, these blue cities and blue states, they're so violent. You know what I mean? Look at New Jersey. It's lower than California average. New Jersey W. Yes. Police cannot prevent crimes. Police as a body are there to react to crimes after they happen. And in a lot of instances, they don't even do a good fucking job with it. Okay, let's be real, especially when it comes to petty crimes or even Grand Theft Auto or even grand larceny. They're not even a good reaction force. Let's be fucking real. Why? Because they don't need to. Because they're the most well-paid, laziest, sexist shit you've ever seen in this goddamn country. Nobody wants to work anymore. And by nobody wants to work anymore, I mean the cops. They don't want to work anymore. Here, this is another thing I saw from some urbanist account that said, San Francisco is such a joke. Gone for 45 minutes, nothing in the car. Come back to glass all over my kid's car seat. To file a police report for the stats, since crime isn't actually down, call the police. Don't pick up. Call again. Okay? And then it says, transfer to another service. Told it will take 25 minutes to file over the phone, but I can do it online. No wonder nobody files police reports and crime is down. Guess I'm lucky. I got nothing taken. 4th time this happened. So, no, not to leave anything. So, this is so fucking frustrating. Okay? It's so frustrating. Cops don't do anything about it. It's so fucking annoying. It's like, do your job, man. This is your job. Okay? Your job is not to like sit around and harass homeless people. This is your job. Okay? Your job is to do this. Okay? And then they constantly say, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it because the DAs will like release them. That's not true. Okay? That's not fucking true. That's not even true. Do your fucking job. Oh my God, I hate you so much. I hate cops so fucking much. It is so fucking frustrating. Holy fuck. Yeah, there were 30 cops literally in my subway station last night, just standing there in a vast crowd getting paid overtime. This is why libraries are closing on weekends and public schools are falling apart. What was it? Well, I saw a fucking tweet about this where someone was like, if you're leaning, you should be cleaning. Okay? Like, get them to do other shit. Okay? I'm sick and tired of it. If you're going to fucking stand around, get to work. Pick up the trash. You fucking piglet hog pieces of shit. Time to lean, time to clean, bitch. Do something. Okay? Anything. New York spends $29 million per day on the NYPD, by the way. Eric Adams wanted to cut public library hours and programming because they were short $36 million for the year, just FYI. Public servant my ass. The public is a servant to the fucking police force, bro. I swear to God. It's very, very, very frustrating.
No, they just have to get more cops on the force.
I gotta pee. I'll be back.
Cops. I don't even care about cops. I want to see garbage men. It's much more important. All I want to see are garbage trucks, garbage cans, and garbage men. You're never going to stop crime. We should at least be clean.
I tell you what they should do. They should combine the two jobs. Make it one job, cop/garbage man. I always see cops walking around with nothing to do. Grab a broom. Start sweeping. You sweep, 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 sweep. Catch a criminal, get right back to sweeping.
You should run for mayor.
Ah, nobody listens.
I agree, by the way. Stop saying come. I had to fucking go. I had to go pee, okay? Shut the fuck up. My cousin is a cop, and in general, it's like Cop Week or something, and she's gassing herself so hard on week Insta. Bro, Cop Week is like, Men's Awareness Month or something, okay? It's always Cops Week. There is no circumstance. Please talk about Iran executing 62 people. I don't know anything about what happened here, but oh my fucking God, dude. Like, stop spamming this shit, okay? Stop. What is this, like your personal pet project or something? It's like, I don't know. It's bad, okay? There you go. I talked about it. Jesus Christ, dude. There's no week that isn't Cop Week. These motherfuckers are the only people that have like social. They are living in Norway, okay? That's it. The only group of individuals in the workplace that is this well treated in the working class that are wage laborers, okay? Because cops technically are they're cops. That's it. In the United States of America, Every other fucking sector is dog shit, okay? Except for cops. They quite literally have they have all the benefits, they have all the compensation, they have all the workplace security, they have everything. They could just be the worst on the fucking planet. They could kill, okay, and get away with it. And there's nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like they're the only like actually solid union in the country. They get pensions. They get all of that. They get all of that. They live on a totally different planet, dude. It's fucking bananas. New York spends $29 million per day on the NYPD. Okay? The amount of top-of-the-hour ad break avoidance fees that you can pay for that is crazy. Maybe I should promote cops more, honestly. That way I can get more subs at the top of the hour and gifters at the top of the hour. Because at the top of the hour, there's a streaming ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Preston for the win. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. Suck on a gore. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's a 3-minute ad break right now. Okay. The car break-ins are strange because it's largely an organized crime ring that is easily baitable. The viral glitter bomb YouTube guy easily tracked them with a bait package and figured out where they trade in their goods. It's confusing why the San Francisco Police Department can't do the same thing. And I responded and I said, nobody police wants to work anymore. That's why. Randy also said, why would the police do any work when they could just do nothing and get paid the same? It's just like, guys, another $1 billion will fix it, okay? That's what it is. Remember when Myth stole his own car back? Crazy. The cops are quiet quitting, okay? They're quiet quitting. Nobody wants to work anymore. Is actually just about cops. $120K starting salary for the SFPD, by the way? Yeah, of course. Dude, their job is basically, wouldn't that be entrapment? Wait, what? No. First of all, cops do entrapment all the fucking time, but this wouldn't even be entrapment unless, like, they're leaving a car with valuables inside of it. It's just a bait car. It's not just organized crime. There was one article where a gang was doing it. It's sad, but it's often houseless folks and people at the end of their rope. Yeah, it would be investigating work. Hashimo Jar Jar, thank you for the 5 get the subs. And Keith is neat, thank you for the 5 get the subs as well. Entrapment would be them goading some dude into doing the fucking crime. Exactly. So they'll never do that because, you know, that's work, and they get paid the same if they don't do the work anyway, so it doesn't matter. Plus, the media protects them. So there's that too, where like the media will greatly amplify the narrative that like violent crime is on the rise and like cops can't do anything about it, and that you know, we're being too mean to them. Oh. San Francisco is full of communists, you know, the VC funds and tech oligarchs. Yeah. A picture of a cop doing something good will make it all fine. Yeah. Yeah, no, they'll go play basketball with like some 12-year-old black teens or something. Like 13-year-old teenagers, and then everyone will forget about it.
on that terrifying attack in Virginia, where a man with a metal baseball bat allegedly targeted a congressman and struck two of his staffers. Janae Norman is in Fairfax, Virginia, with the latest for us. Good morning, Janae.
Hey, Michael, good morning. This incident brings up the issue of security.
San Francisco has a crime problem. Definitely has a crime problem, but it's greatly amplified by conservatives. Every big city has a crime problem, and with no solutions, because the solution to crime is not more police enforcement. It's literally financial, okay? There's no way to fix crime other than by turning around and solving the underlying reasons why crime happens, okay? Crime, or the overwhelming majority of crime, rather, is due to socioeconomic conditions. That's it. If you want to, actually eliminate crime, then you have to eliminate poverty.
For lawmakers, a district office like this typically doesn't have security. Congressman Connolly saying his staff makes themselves available to constituents in the public each and every day, calling this attack unconscionable and devastating.
This morning, the latest details after that alleged harrowing attack in a Virginia congressman's district office. Shocking new video appears to show the suspect, 49-year-old Xuan Ka Tran Pham, armed with a metal baseball bat, chasing a woman. A neighbor telling our affiliate WJLA that video took place 30 minutes before authorities responded to reports of an active assault around 10:45 a.m.
30
at
minutes!
the Fairfax, Virginia office of Democratic Congressman Jerry Connolly. Authorities saying they found Pham armed with a metal baseball bat at Connolly's office.
Our officers got here within 5 minutes, located the subject just inside the office. We found 2 victims, and they sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
Police say the suspect asked for the congressman by name, but Connolly was at a ribbon cutting for a food bank in his district during the attack. The suspect then allegedly swinging on staffers. Connolly's office telling ABC News the suspect hit a senior aide in the head and an intern on their first day on the job in the upper body.
He's schizophrenic. He previously wrote a complaint to the FBI that he was being held in a fourth dimensional prison. Oh, my Lord.
Both staffers have since been released from the hospital. Authorities now working to piece together a motive.
It's quite frankly scary that someone can just walk up to an office holding a baseball bat and just start swinging at innocent victims.
Now, as for that suspect, police tell us he is a local resident, and we've learned he's filed suit against the CIA, claiming he was wrongfully imprisoned and brutally tortured. Authorities tell us they are looking into mental illness as a potential factor for a motive. George.
I mean, that's what it is. What do you mean? Why don't poor southern states have higher crime if it's heavily socioeconomic factor related, just population density versus cities, where, first of all, poor southern states do have higher crime? What the fuck? Hello? They do, actually, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Per capita, of course. Yeah, of course per capita. No one would look at totality. What the fuck? Oh, man. I can't believe Wyoming doesn't have the same total number of violent crime incidents as California. You know what I mean? Yeah, no shit. You have to look at per capita. And they do, for the record. I'm not making fun of you. Maybe you didn't know that, but they do. They do have higher rates of crime per capita. What about New York? What about New York? That's a great question. What about New York? I said it earlier in the chat, but if you look at television, if you look at local TV, you think New York crime is out of control. Except New York State has a lower rate of violent crimes per capita than South Carolina does. California's rate of gun violence is lower than the fucking national average. And I think New York too. But again, it's because the media is constantly fucking lying to you, so you don't even recognize that reality. It blew my mind when there was an Oklahoma, was it the gubernatorial race or whatever? I think it was, right? There was an Oklahoma gubernatorial race. And the two people going against one another were debating on local news. Okay? They were debating to become the next governor of Oklahoma. And the Republican was debating against the Democrat, and the Republican literally said, like, seriously and openly, that, like, New York has a crime problem. Oklahoma doesn't have a crime problem. And then the Democrat turned around and said, actually, Oklahoma has a higher rate of, like, gun violence and violent crimes than New York. And everyone laughed at her. Like, the entire room laughed in her face. And it blew my fucking mind. Like, she was right. Like, the Democrat was literally right. It's just basic math, okay? Like, yeah, including the fucking moderators. Human Development Index? No, I'm not talking about that one. Oh, yeah, this one. This is it.
Violent blue cities and
just give me the video, man. I hate it when I have to listen to commentary through it. Oh, here.
Fact check. Let's talk about the facts. The fact is, the rates of violent crime are higher in Oklahoma under your watch than in New York and California. That's a fact.
Well, we'll have that fact checked by the Frontier.
What do you mean we'll have that fact checked by the Frontier? Your job as a moderator is to already know that. You should know that, you fucking idiot. What do you mean? She is so correct. She's like 100% of the correct. 100% on the side of truth in this one. I don't give a fuck about Democrats in general, but she's objectively correct. And the room laughed at her. And the fucking local news, the local media broadcaster said, we'll have that fact check. What the fuck? What the fuck? The per capita crime rate in Oklahoma, I think, is like double almost. The moderator was like, yeah, sure, okay, lady. Yeah, literally. I saw this, and I felt like I was losing my fucking mind. I'm like, dude, she's right. She's fucking right. Here's you explaining this to normies, podcast timestamp.
Even then, part of me thinks that crime is escalating to a point where we need more police officers because it's so prevalent. Like, I've seen...
You bring up a good point. Like, first of all, crime is not escalating technically. That is, even if you look at police numbers, police data, crime is actually decreasing. But everywhere in the media, they're like, oh my God, crime is so bad. You would think that crime is worse in California than it is in, like, South Carolina. No, it's not. South Carolina has a much higher rate, for example, of murders than New York.
But didn't they decriminalize a lot of the things in California too?
No, that's, again, a lot of this stuff is portrayed in the media in a way to draw out hysteria towards it. And then you see homeless people like defecating on the street. And then you think, oh my God, the media is correct. Crime is fucking skyrocketing. Homicides are up. That's true. Certainly. The main component, though, is not our police budgets, because police budgets have fucking gone up year over year over year. The Los Angeles Police Department spends $8 million a day just to operate. $8 million a day. And hey, if you get your fucking car broken into, good luck. You know, you call them up, they're like, sorry, nobody on the line. You know,
but doesn't that promote in a way more crime? Because what I've seen, again, this is me personally, have seen this firsthand, but the level of crime out in the open, I've never seen that before in my life. As someone who worked like Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, I've never seen before someone in the broad daylight smashing a window. But over the last 2 years, I've seen and heard more stories firsthand about people in broad daylight being robbed for their watches, walking down the street in a crowded space. Someone pulls up, smashes a car window, grabs it, and everyone's just kind of standing there looking. The police won't respond to it because it's not worth their time.
It's not. Yeah. And also, they're fucking super lazy. Let's be real. Yeah, there's no other sector where like there's no other sector in which people go, oh yeah, they're just bad, but we got to give them more money. But
part of me thinks it's just because it's so prevalent because it's not enforced, because the penalties are not as strict as they should be for that level of crime.
America houses the largest number of caged people, not free people, prisoners on the planet. We are 4% of the entire planet's population, and yet we have 25% of the entire planet's prisoner population. We have a very draconian attitude towards crime and punishment. And unfortunately, in other countries where they have a much more understanding approach that focuses on rehabilitation, they have better results of reintegration. They have lower recidivism rates. It is demonstrably failed. Our carceral state is an abject failure. We've even baked in the profit incentive into it in the form of private prisons, which are just abhorrent by other country standards. Norway literally has a non-extradition treaty for many crimes to the United States because they consider U.S. prisons to be a regularly violating human rights, solitary confinement, and even like regular prisons, like regular jails, like Rikers and whatnot, should be shut down, but are currently operating with like millions of people. I mean, not millions, but thousands of people that are going through that jail system without even a court date. We have basically proven time and time again that like these kinds of, we're going to fucking tackle crime head on by, beating people's heads in, not working is just a failure. In other places where they don't do that, it's not a failure. What is the main difference though? It's because crime doesn't happen because people are bad people. Certainly there are still, of course, going to be perverts, freaks, whatever, antisocial personality disorder related crimes. But crime, for the most part, is a consequence of your material conditions. That's why when there's more poverty, like in a state like South Carolina, there's more crime. There's more violent crime. And what? I was high-key mad when Hasan referenced South Carolina as a crime-riddled wasteland, but then I went to Walmart on Mother's Day and witnessed two men trying to fight each other while one of them wielded a machete. This was in the middle of the day on Mother's Day. Yeah, we got problems here. Again, that's an anecdote. That shouldn't change your mind. That is not how you fucking change your mind. Look at the data. Google it. California, living here in Vienna, Austria for numerous years, and can absolutely stand by what Hasan is saying in regards to the Vienna public housing project. What makes it so successful is that it's actually quite desirable housing at subsidized prices, not only for low income, but for the middle class. Hearing Hasan talk to someone who isn't just yelling talking points at him is so refreshing. Made me realize he barely gets to relax on camera and just talk, lol. Exactly. I think it's important that we all listen to contrasting perspectives. I'm subbing because after watching both the episode of Brett and the one on Hasan, I see how unusually mature and reasonable you hosts are. Amazing. I can't believe how accurate his info was when the editor implemented his exact talking points via the edit. Yep. It's like this on his channel too. The vids are just cut up from his streams, and the editors always accompany the random specific information he spouts off with a graphic. I don't know how he remembers all of it. Let's go. Finally, some motherfuckers are recognizing that this dome is filled to the goddamn brim. Okay? It's filled to the motherfucking goddamn brim with useless information that is actually quite useful when you're having a normal, casual conversation where I just go like that and rattle off a piece of correct empirical evidence to accompany my fucking takes. Love you, Hasan. Thank you for always being clearly articulate what I struggle when having these discussions. This is such a fantastic episode. Hey, Graham, just wanted to say a different podcast. It's amazing how well-spoken he is when he's off Twitch. I mean, even on Twitch, he can articulate points pretty well, but damn, this is a great podcast interview. Let's go. Anyway, have you ever thought about going back to school for grad school? No, fuck no. I don't have time for that. Anyway, the reason why I was mentioning this, respect to them giving us on a miniature water bottle just so he looks particularly massive. Yeah. Another PR year W. Yeah, I'm glad I did this. I was apprehensive at first in doing it. Confronting the female Ben Shapiro, Brett Cooper. Pure evil. Confronting Hasan Piker. Why capitalism is horrible. Bait. That's a bait title too. The Dark Truth. I love that. This podcast was a great way to introduce normies to Hasan and the basic beliefs about what is wrong and steps to fix those wrongs. Anyway, They went from Brett Cooper to you. Yeah, I know. They did that back to back. They told me that they were doing that too. I mean, I don't care. I like it. But yeah, I am a lot better, I think, when I'm doing like a regular podcast interview or even a debate on television, because that format is where I thrive, because I'm constantly fucking battling demons in my chat. Okay. Oklahoma's intentional homicide rate is almost double even New York City's rate in 2020. Yeah. You literally only create content, stream, and read, watch shit. People who think you would be uninformed are just projecting. There is a point about the internet, social media in regards to crime. Not often do I like Neil deGrasse Tyson, but there's an old video where someone brought up like police brutality or something, and he pointed out the illusion of uptick in frequency can be partially attributed to our information access increasing as tech has expanded. Yeah. A great example of like the crime hysteria that exists in the United States of America is accompanied by apps like Neighbor or Ring or numerous other applications that is constantly like giving you round the clock, real time information, oftentimes like biased too and not even correct. Nextdoor, not Neighbor, sorry, Nextdoor, like telling you like what crimes are happening in the city. Those crimes have always been happening in the city. Okay? It's a part of living in the city. It sucks. But like you are way more tuned into it when you see it all the fucking time. Now, of course, we should seek to solve these crimes. I'm not saying like, oh, well, that's life in the big city, sucks to suck. I'm not saying that at all. Right? But understand that like these applications have a very direct purpose of like scaring the shit out of you so you buy their services for protection. You know what I mean? Look at our media, mentions a topic relative. Oh, crime. Yeah. The figures below compare the average percentage of 15-second segments in a given day during a 10-day chunk of the month with the average percentage 10-day chunks over the first 6 months of the year. This is mentions a topic. Crime has majorly increased overall leading up to an election because they always do that before they do the midterms.
Superintendent.
It's also a fact that medical marijuana.
Oklahomans, do you believe we have higher crime than New York or California? That's what she just said.
Safety and security is my.
So I am losing my fucking mind. This fucking dumbass is wrong. She's correct. But the room is responding positively to him because of their fucking biases, dude. What the fuck is going on? Right-wing brigaders in the SF subreddit are coping with the crime. The crime stats are declining. First of all, I don't care about fucking Reddit, okay? Please don't send me shit on Reddit. Like, I already get mad enough at things I see on Twitter, okay? And I think that is, like, objectively more normie as far as a platform goes than Reddit. Reddit is, like, where freakazoids go, okay? I don't give a shit that, like, a specific subreddit is, like, going crazy over crime in San Francisco. What? I don't want to type what I said again. What? Just moved from San Francisco to LA a few months ago. San Francisco has one of the highest brazen theft rates, not violent crime. It only started to feel unsafe when the mental health drug use really started to affect people after the tenderloin started overflowing. Yeah. The problem with no. Here's what it is. No, brazen crime as far as like what you see. I don't know what the tenderloin is. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. But like as far as like retail theft and shit like that, that's like out of control or happening regularly in places like San Francisco, there's certainly a reality, okay? There's certainly a reality to like the brazen in the fucking broad daylight crime that you see. Except it happens because it has an incredibly high rate of poverty, an incredibly high rate of wealth and income disparity, incredibly high rate of homelessness, and all of the accompanying issues that come along with that. And the only way that you can solve that is not by trying to actively over enforce or over police said communities, because you can't, because there's a constant new wave of people becoming homeless, a constant new wave of people looking to crime to survive, right? The only way to solve that is by offering people opportunities and both financial opportunities and also a place to live. Tenderloin is like Skid Row. It's pretty bad there. Can you imagine if Dem moves with even a 1/1,000,000th of the conviction that conservatives do? I would go crazy if Dems just hit some annoying hog with the Georgians. Do you think this guy is making up facts? Yeah. Tenderloin is the Skid Row of San Francisco. I looked it up. Violent crime is 2.3 times higher in Oklahoma than New York City. Yeah. So, if you want to talk about solving some of these homelessness problems, right? It does come through crime enforcement. It's just that it's not about enforcing, loitering laws on homeless people. It's about crime enforcement at the highest levels of society. It's about what landlords are doing. It's about criminalizing not loitering or not criminalizing poverty, but instead criminalizing people who are doing things that are perfectly legal, but are completely immoral. Okay? But we will never do that because our entire society is designed around protecting the wealthy. So we're never going to do crime enforcement on people who are doing like wage theft or shit. No, 100%. All pricing out people. The difference is pretty crazy. It was never as bad as the media said, though. And my friends that would visit me were shocked that the city wasn't burning down. Yeah, I know. People that don't live in fucking big cities. It's always funny when motherfuckers are talking about literally my backyard in Los Angeles, like these crazy crimes happening. And they're like, dude, don't you feel safe? Like, don't you feel safe? It's like, bro, that's my backyard you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck do you mean? No, of course I feel safe, idiot. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not like fucking, it's not like the city's on fire all the time. I would feel more safe if there was less poverty, if we eradicated poverty. Okay, you're also a giant dude. No, that doesn't matter. It's still, yeah, I'm a giant dude. You know what also would kill me, though? A gun. What do you mean? So, like what? If someone were to like follow me home and try to rob me with a gun, what am I supposed to do? I'm not immune to fucking bullets. Anyway, just my point is there are plenty of moments where like I've talked about this before. There are moments where like, of course you feel unsafe, or at least you feel unsafe for those in your life, like my mom, you know what I mean? When like the serial masturbator dude used to jerk off right next to my house all the fucking time, or would like try to break in to my house. But there is no like good way to deal with this problem because we don't want to deal with this problem. So what now? How is it that like every time I talk about this story, there's like at least 1,000 people that have never heard it? Give him a room to masturbate in, dude. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, being a progressive or a leftist means like you have to let the dude nut on you. Actually, that's what that means. Yeah, dude, what the fuck? You tell it at least once a week and sub still, at the story. Yeah. You only know that he was jerking off in front of your house, not to try to break in. Yeah, bro, he was mentally ill. I talked about how he's like tried to break in as well. There's not much you can do. Anyway. But yeah, here's the murder per capita rate. Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Maryland, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Michigan, Indiana, Delaware, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Ohio, Arizona, Alaska, Texas, West Virginia, Virginia, Florida, Nevada, California at number 27, dude. New York at number 32. Look at that. Seems like that might be out of date. It's from 2020, but it is pretty funny that you think that like this has dramatically changed now. Like you think like this has been the same. Like this leaderboard looks pretty identical. Okay, it looks pretty identical year over year, but if you think that it's like dramatically different, let's look at 2023, you know what I mean? Oh, by the way, here are the safest cities or not safest states with the lowest violent crime rates. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey. States with the highest violent crime rates are DC, Alaska, New Mexico, Tennessee, Arkansas. Top 10, baby. District of Columbia, New Mexico, Louisiana, Colorado, South Carolina, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Washington, Tennessee, and Oregon. Literally just names the least populated states. Wait, what? Let's go. Montana is not on the list. I mean, probably not far up there. I mean, it's probably not that far behind the other states that we just looked at. Where is it? I don't see it on here. Yeah, it's fucking right next to California. North Dakota. Right in between California and North Dakota. Just crimes, not violent crimes. Oh, here. Violent crime rate. Aw, damn. Womp womp. Montana with a violent crime rate immediately fucking popping off, dude. Oops. DC, Alaska, New Mexico, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, South Carolina, South Dakota, Arizona, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, California. Anyway, the point is, if you look at like, you know, the rate of poverty in these places, you'll see quite the similar chart. Why are you saying Dakota like Dakota? Because that's how you're supposed to say it. Anyway, my point is, this conversation is really fucking stupid, and people literally go along with their fifis rather than like the objective reality and the truth of the matter. Crime happens due to poverty. Crime happens due to a lack of social safety nets. Okay? That's it. And if you look at the poverty rates by state, Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico, Arkansas, Alabama, that's crazy, man. 5 states with the lowest poverty rates: New Hampshire, Utah, Minnesota, New Jersey, Washington. States with the 10 highest poverty rates also happen to be almost an identical fucking list to the states with the 10 highest violent crimes. Now, there's also wealth inequality that you need to look at, because this is like overall looking at just poverty. But I wonder what it is. I wonder what makes this look so similar to the other one. Anyway, people believe what you tell them when you tell them things that align with what they want to be true. That's why pandering is so effective. I know. So, wealth inequality is why DC is number one, no doubt. Yeah, DC is incredibly fucking poor outside of, the richest parts. There is an insane amount of wealth inequality in DC. Anyway. Another component of this, by the way, is that abject poverty has been systematically enforced upon black populations. So that's part of the reason why a lot of dumb racist motherfuckers will look at that and go, "Oh, that's where all the black people live." It's like, no, dumbass, that's where the fucking poor people live. And you happen to live in a country that purposely enslaved black people and then kept them poor to this fucking day. That's it. Fucking idiots. Anyway, I'm just getting mad at, like, not even chatters at this point. I'm just, like, getting mad at very common right-wing perspective that I hear all the fucking time. I got no guide.